every offseason we see a bunch of NBA guys jumping to the EuroLeague, and 2025 won't be any different, except it might be even bigger. The EuroLeague is rumored to expand from 18 to 20 teams, which means more open spots. Usually it's the Americans who can't find a stable role in the NBA, or Europeans who are tired of warming the bench. Look at what happened mid-season. Žalgiris signed Lonnie Walker, who has already gone back, FS signed PJ Dozier, and Monaco landed Daniel Theis. So let's take a look at the names to watch in the 2025 offseason. The first category of players I will call please return while you're still in your prime. And the number one candidate on this list must be Dennis Schroeder. I couldn't call this constant trading of Dennis anything other than disrespectful. The guy led Germany to a World Cup title in 2023 with the MVP honors, but ever since that he has been traded 3 times in the last 2 years. In fact, the last time he spent a full season with one team was in 2022 with the Lakers. We've seen how dominant Schroeder can be in a FIBA setting, so I would imagine he would be a leading scorer for most EuroLeague teams and would earn a top 5 contract too. For Dennis, it would also mean no more trades and no more moving home midway through the season. Plus maybe even an opportunity to play in Germany, knowing how much Bayern Munich has grown recently. Another guy is Vasilije Micic. He was red hot at Anadolu Efes, won the EuroLeague MVP and the Final Four MVP, but his NBA career so far has been lukewarm at best. OKC never gave him a big role, he had a better stretch at Charlotte, and now he's not even in Phoenix's rotations. While he claimed he isn't eyeing a return this season, it seems more and more likely that we'll see Vasa in a European competition the next one. I said European competition on purpose because one of the front runners to sign Micic is actually a Eurocup team, Hapoel Tel Aviv. Team owner has been in talks with the Serbians since January 2025. Reportedly, Hapoel is willing to pay 5 million euros a year if he decides to make the move. And there's the possibility that the Israeli club wins the Eurocup and gets promoted to the EuroLeague. Among other candidates, there are 2 EuroLeague powerhouses: Panathinaikos Athens, where he would rejoin his former coach, and Anadolu Efes, his former team. There's another European in his prime who, similarly to Micic, also has a contract for next year. That's Detroit's Italian forward Simone Fontecchio. He had a decent start to his NBA career with Utah and then was getting a lot of playing time in the rock-bottom Pistons last year, even putting up 15 a game. But ever since Asar Thompson came back, Tim Hardaway Jr. joined, and Detroit rose from the dead, Fontecchio's playing time has suffered greatly. Partly because of his injuries, partly because Detroit has improved a lot. One thing's for certain, at the moment, only tanking NBA teams can allow big minutes for Fontecchio, while in Europe, he would be an instant starter. Next is Dario Saric, who had EuroLeague experience in Efes before moving across the Atlantic. Injuries and NBA role shifts have stunted his progress, and now he's in Denver, teaming up with Jokic but seeing limited time off the bench. With a player option looming, I would rather see him go to Europe than chase that NBA dream. Panathinaikos reportedly chased him in the recent off-seasons but got Yurt7 instead. Healthy Saric can stretch the floor, pass well for a forward/center, and post up smaller defenders. And to be honest, I would see him in a starting role for many EuroLeague teams. Finally, the last player who I would want to see back in Europe while he's still in his prime is Dante Exum. The Aussie stocks went up in Barcelona and Partizan, which ultimately turned into an NBA comeback with the Mavs. But a wrist injury and subsequent roster moves in Dallas complicated his role. Exum has definitely proven he can thrive in Europe, just ask Partizan fans. So if his second NBA stint keeps stalling, I think EuroLeague clubs should go all in to get him. As for honorable mentions, although just like Schroeder they never played in the EuroLeague, I have 2 Europeans on my mind, Alex Len and Vlatko Cancar. Both are still in their supposed primes, both are on expiring contracts, both are struggling for minutes, and would be valuable assets for EuroLeague clubs. Len would provide a big body presence in the paint, while Cancar could fulfill a role similar to what he does for Slovenia. Slovenia. Stretch the floor off the ball. Next category of players I would call vets that could be much more valuable in Europe. First of those is Bojan Bogdanovic, who is coming off a brutal year of injuries. Foot, wrist, another foot surgery that ended his second stint with Brooklyn before it even began. At 36, with a lost season on his resume, his market value in the NBA is very iffy. And I just remember how lethal he was before going to the NBA in Fenerbahce. Of course, I understand he was way younger and we might not ever see a fully healthy Bojan anymore, but he's still an elite shooter who can also create his own mid-range looks. I think considering the shape he'll be in after all these injuries, he would definitely benefit from the slower tempo of the EuroLeague. And clubs looking for a proven bucket getter should definitely jump at him if his NBA offers fall short. Next I got Nicolas Batum. Over the last few seasons, the Frenchman has seen his role shrink to near career lows. As we've seen in the Paris Olympics, he's still a versatile defender and can definitely hit an open tree if you need him to. But even more importantly, he's a locker room leader. Batum spent time in the French League and the EuroLeague in his early years, so a return to European ball wouldn't be so difficult. If he's thinking about a final chapter with meaningful minutes, I think a top EuroLeague squad could use his experience in a 15 to 20 minute role. And for Batum, there could be a pride factor in representing a French club. Paris as well, or Monaco, he has more choices than ever. And he recently said that he received some offers already, but his goal is still to stay in the NBA. There are two more veterans I should mention, Joe Ingles and Patty Mills. Thing is though, they are both Australian, so if they decide to keep going after their current NBA stints, I would bet they head home to the NBL rather than the EuroLeague. Home is home, and with their status, they would get really good money. The last category will be players that need a reset. The first guy on this list is someone who had a brief stint in Greece last season, Kevin Porter Jr. KPJ once was a near 20 point per game scorer in Houston, but now is lacking efficiency and consistency. The talent is obvious, quick handles and scoring at will, but all of the off-the-court troubles have stopped his growth. If the 20-year-old doesn't receive any guaranteed offers in the NBA, EuroLeague clubs might gamble, much like Žalgiris did with Lonnie Walker this season. Next we got Sandro Mamukelashvili, who keeps bouncing between the NBA and the G League, never securing a stable role. Yet when he plays for Georgia, he shows flashes of being a dominant modern stretch big. At 25, a EuroLeague jump could give him the consistent minutes to develop and raise his stocks. He's got the size, shooting, and passing to be a weapon on a EuroLeague floor. Someone like Bayern, Žalgiris, or Baskonia could both afford him and give him a leading frontcourt role. Then there's Killian Hayes, a former number 7 overall pick with Detroit that has just been released by the Brooklyn Nets. He's just 23 but hasn't locked down an NBA identity, especially shooting-wise. Returning to France in a leading role in Asvel Villeurbanne, for example, could be the reboot he needs. He is a solid defender, good passer, and maybe the EuroLeague pace would suit him better too. At this point, I just feel like Hayes needs to rebuild his confidence in Europe rather than just keep bouncing around 10-day contracts. Speaking of guards, there's also Devonte Graham, who's been drifting around. From a strong stint in Charlotte to minimal roles elsewhere and now the G League. Rumors linked him to Real Madrid recently, but nothing happened. While he's a streaky shooter, I think he could still be valuable in Europe running pick and roll effectively. I also would like to see Jahlil Okafor making the jump. The former number 3 overall pick is now 29 years old and has been battling injuries his whole career. I feel like a EuroLeague team would provide him with a slower pace, and depending on the team of course, even an easier schedule. Jabari Parker's case is probably the best example of an injury-riddled former top 5 pick who revived his career in the EuroLeague. Next is someone you might have forgotten, Chris Duarte. The Puerto Rican looked like a promising rookie but now has found himself in NBA limbo. He got traded to Chicago in that DeRozan deal and got waived in February. And he's turning 28 this summer, so he's not a raw prospect anymore. Duarte's size and 3-and-D skill would definitely be appreciated in Europe. Last name I would like to highlight is Luka Garza. He's too dominant for the G League but doesn't have enough for the NBA. Garza is a proven rebounder, can score in the post and even hit some threes, yet he can't secure consistent minutes in Minnesota. A EuroLeague team desperate for a scoring big could definitely allow him to collect playing time and develop among much better competition than the G League. Plus, Garza has Bosnian heritage, so he might fit in well with a passionate fanbase in the Balkans, for example. example. And those are the NBA players that could potentially join the EuroLeague next season. Now let me know in the comment section below which of these names you would like to see in the EuroLeague. Also let me know if you have any other ones in mind. As always, don't forget to check out our second channel called Outside the NBA, where we talk about the NBA topics. Also like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.